So it is my turn. It was my turn to do the book club. The FN Spook Club is what I'm calling it on Twitter.
Good.
October.
Picture time. Pick up all the pictures. I
chose Aliens, which is currently collected in the Aliens, the original comic series 30th anniversary hardcover. Look at these pages. They're black pages. Look at this. This is nice.
It is big and nice.
This is the first ever Dark Horse graphic novel, Aliens thing that Dark Horse published. I chose the one before they changed it because Alien 3 obviously makes this completely irrelevant canon.
Mute.
So they recolored everyone's hair and changed all the names, and it's color, but the original is black and white. So this is by Mark Verheiden and Mark A. Nelson. I just wanted to showcase real quickly. I also have the two sequels, which I did not read, but it continued in Nightmare Asylum and Earth War, which are also collected in a nice hardcover.
Also, the writer of this book also wrote the Predator book because you see an ad for it at the end of this book. And I'm like, damn, he was so good. They just gave him the Predator book too, right?
Yep. And he wrote Swamp Thing, the TV series Swamp Thing.
Yeah, he helped create something. That dude knows some good stuff.
So let's just get into it. What do we think of Aliens?
Brandon, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I think this is the best book club you've ever picked.
Well, holy shit.
This is me personally. I didn't expect to get because I knew this was an older book. I didn't expect it to be as heavy and as like taken with so much sincerity and realness. And like I actually know who the characters are, and I think the art is phenomenal. And I want this to me is the best Alien sequel that's not Aliens. This if this were like one of the Alien sequels, it's better than Alien 3, Resurrection, all the Alien vs. Predator movies, better than Prometheus. I thought this was outstanding from start to finish. That's me.
Wow.
I loved it.
On behalf of the creators of this book, thank you.
Yes.
Sparks?
I, for the most part, echo a lot of what Ryan just said. I thought this was incredibly enjoyable. I have minor issues, but they are not big. Overall, I really enjoyed it.
Ben?
Hot damn, this was a roller coaster ride of emotions. So this book I was really hoping this was going to be like a true alien sequel, because as I was reading it, I want to know what happened to Ridley, but at the same time, I was like, no, I want to see what's going on with Newt. I want to know what's happening with her. I want to know what's going on with Hicks, and just all the stuff that happened.
They have an interesting line in the book where they're just like, well, Ripley, you know what happened to her?
Yeah, but we don't know.
That's when I knew I was going to love this book, when they were just like, yo, fuck Ripley. It's not about her. I'm like, oh, yeah.
So at first, when I started reading it, there are times where it's like, okay, who is this guy? Who is it? I love how it's in black and white, but there were times for me that I
love the art.
No, I love the art too, but there are times where I couldn't tell who exactly was who. Like, who was the dude with the thumb?
I agree. It took me a while to get who everyone was. Yeah.
I mean, luckily Hicks. I mean, you know who Hicks is because half of his face is freaking gone.
Right.
But once it got to the end of the book, like they're like, hey, we have the corporation, we have the government, then we have the bionational or whatever that corporation's called. It's like, what's the play here? What's going on? But once it got to the end and everything tied itself together, it's like reading the end of Hoxpox where everything makes sense. But while I was reading it, even though I was a little confused at times, I still wanted to know what happens next. Is Newt and Hicks gonna get revenge on the aliens? What's going on with the alien on Earth? What the frack is going on? And I got it.
So I just wanted to say, Ryan, you said that this book says F Ripley. Ripley doesn't show up until the end of the sequel book.
Hell yeah.
Nightmare Asylum. That's the first time Ripley shows up in the series.
So
that's bold. I love it.
I want to touch off what Ben just said and just like get my biggest problem with this out of the way real quick. And I'm going to say, it's also part of why I'm going to give it praise. But this is not a problem because of the art not being good enough. I really want to stress that. It is a problem of the alien environment as those films have established being too similar in most of its locations.
Yeah.
that when we jump from one place to another, I don't know always that we've gone from one place to another.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
That's part of the problem. And I do not blame the artist. It is a problem that Alien would have in general. The only reason it's never come up in the films is because we don't have films that run two narratives at the same time. You're usually only following one team of people. And even if we're jumping between different characters, they're in different parts of the same location. They're not on a totally different planet or something like that. But for this one, what would happen is I'd turn a page and I'd be like, hold up, this kind of looks like the other ship, but they're talking about some different things.
Yeah.
Who is this?
No, yeah, I agree.
And that is the hardest part of reading this book. And I bet with color it would help, but I prefer the black and white art. So that's kind of where it sits. But that it was my biggest issue, is that it just took a lot of time, especially in the first few issues, for me to orient myself and be like, hold up, where are we right now?
Especially when there's
who are you? Who are
there's
you?
a lot of characters before they
And
get
there's a
cut
lot
down.
of there's a lot of men that look very similar.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to separate them.
Yeah.
And that's that is my biggest issue with it. But at the same time, I have to praise the book for doing that, because having dual narrative, I've never seen an Alien story do it where you're running these kind of two different tracks. And it was really good. It was really nice to bounce between these two things and explore these human elements where the aliens were always secondary.
So my initial thoughts a little later is I never read this book. I've only heard good things. For a while, I had the colorized version, but I decided to wait until the black and white ever came out. And I thought this was really great. And one of the things that really stuck out to me is how much lore Mark Verheiden creates for the aliens.
Yeah.
The whole, he created their homeworld.
Yeah.
Which has still never been seen in the franchise.
The engineers, he does
He
stuff with
created
them.
the engineers.
Yeah.
Created the engineers.
And honestly, a way I find much more compelling than the story we do get, because they're still mysterious, but give me enough.
He took the design that you see, and he was like, so what if that's like the whole alien? Instead of saying, so what if that's like a mask on a human?
Yeah, what if
person?
it's actually like a little, like an 8-foot-tall blue man? Like, yeah.
And the space jockey comes out so late in the story.
Yeah.
And you think he's here to help.
Yeah.
And he's just floating.
Yeah.
And there's like no actual like real communication. There's like some telepathy stuff, but like you get that like, oh, he just wants what we want, is revenge. And I'm like, so that's cool. That's all I need.
So this book establishes the idea that a queen egg would be created to fill a vacuum. So what we find out is that the queen has been telepathically manipulating tons and tons of people.
That is the coolest thing.
Yeah, I love. Again, this came out like before all of these other movies came out, and I'm like, I wish this would have been the basis, because that idea alone of like she's so strong that she can will other people to like mess with them.
Telepathically convincing someone to create a religion.
That is this is so Dead Space. This is the plot of Dead Space. I'm not even joking.
Okay.
Like it's about like an evil organization around religion around this artifact that turns you into a monster.
Listen to this. The vision had overwhelmed them. Where I was seeing monsters, they were seeing salvation.
Yeah.
It's such a good line. It just
The true Messiah is an alien.
True Messiah.
like the guy who starts the cult, or who has like
Salvage.
the alien cult, when he's rushing towards the queen, is like, take me, and then the horror sets in, but you still see his followers just running into the nest to like, take me, face hugger, I'm ready.
Yes.
I also really liked seeing. I also really like the idea that they're like it's entirely possible that the alien, as we know it, is not the dominant species on their homeworld.
Yeah, and we get to see other aliens too.
Yeah.
I love it. They're like flying dragon things. Yeah.
We even see like hosts that live on that planet that they sacrifice for the queen.
Yes. All that mythology is so fascinating, because like it still makes the aliens feel just like an unknown threat, instead of like, yo, we bio made these things, and like it still feels like mysterious.
Yeah.
And like that's why I don't need the answers to everything. Sorry, Ridley Scott, but like seeing like the big engineer who looks like just like a walking elephant, and he's just got
floating elephant.
He's got this like grin, and it's like, that's so sick. That's so sick.
And then at the end of the last page where they're talking about how he was also there to conquer.
He was always there to conquer.
It's like,
Yeah.
hold up.
Like they could be a potential threat in the future. Yeah.
So one of the things I really enjoy is how they're talking about the infection as it spread on Earth. The infection, they call it, like the parasites.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, it didn't care about class. It waited. It would gestate longer in order to get to a different place, and like the gestation period would end at random times where the queen dictated it should end.
Yeah, and the cycles of like birth were like, it's so interesting because it's almost like it's like a force of nature. Like it shows up when it needs to show up, and like it's birthed when it needs to be birthed. And like that's so messed up. It's like it will lay dormant for 1,000 years until one unfortunate soul awakens it. And I'm like, because it's got nothing else to do but wait. I'm like, that's horrifying.
I really loved all of Newt's dream sequences.
Yeah,
all of the dream sequences are exceptional. The art takes it up a notch and makes these weird pseudo creations.
And again, like all the Alien books that I've read in the last couple of years, some of we've had on book clubs, like those are all good books. But to me, they are just like traditional Alien books. Like this is doing something so on its own. There's trying to be like a true like sequel.
There's a really interesting one in her very first, I think it's her first dream, or maybe it's her second. It's her second dream. Her first dream is super dope. Where she's got just like the alien has these eyes that are just like piercing and coming out of the night. But the second dream she has, there's this one piece. I'm going to see if I can get it focused on, because I really want you to see what I'm talking about. There's this one piece right there, which is like this xenomorph evolving, and that thing looks like the more sinister step into the what was the alien resurrection human alien hybrid thing that they were creating. That thing looks so sinister and sick. I love it. So that dream art is dope. I want to talk about the dude they're running, like their entire like experiment is based on, where he's having the fever dreams as they're watching him.
Oh yeah,
he was the survivor. He was one of the survivors from the ship that exploded, right?
Yes. And so he's on the table and he has this whole thing where he shoots them and he escapes, and all he can think about is getting to his wife. And you get the ramblings of like what a man who knows he's about
right to it.
That he's about to have the chest burster come out and what he wants to do and where he's going. And he's like, they're trying to stop me. They won't. They can't. All this stuff. And he gets there and he does all this, and he's still on the table. And
look at this. Look at the guy in the helicopter. His wife turns into a xenomorph.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
And this guy, his chest is starting to burst up, but it's doing it very slowly, and they're getting frustrated, and they're like, it's almost like he's fighting it. So the doctor comes in and he's like, you're ruining the experiment. How dare you? And he's like, you want it? You can have it. And he pulls him down and has it burst into him. That's so good.
Yeah. There's 1 ounce of like the telepathy that the queen's doing on this person. And it says, her teeth glitter like the stars. God, she's impossibly beautiful.
Yeah.
She loves me more than you ever could. And I'm like, and then it's literally just a xenomorph staring at you as this is being said.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is so good and so scary.
And so twisted. Just like art pages like this one when Stevens pushes the guy out into space. It is so incredible.
And we haven't talked too much about the plot, but basically, is it Bionational?
Bionational.
They want to go to the alien homeworld because they're all about money, all about profits. You know, we want the alien for money and you know, Weyland-Yutani bullshit as always. So they get Hicks, who is now super cynical and his face is all burned, and he gets Newt, who's now a grown woman because this is like a decade later or whatever.
Well, she's still a minor. They make a point to say that she's still a minor.
Okay.
I think like she's 17 probably.
Because they're criticizing him for like thinking Hicks is into her because she's too young.
That's right. Yeah. But yeah, they're like it's basically the plot of Aliens again in a way, but just way worse. And Ripley's not there.
The whole concept of like the xenomorphs, the queens having this telepathy power is so cool.
Yeah.
What an idea to take a thing and like give it a way of communicating, but like not ruining the presence of the xenomorph is so genius.
Yeah.
There's even a bit where all these xenomorphs are hanging around a queen egg, and when the queen hatches, and it's just the embryo stage of the queen, they just pick it up and walk over and make a new nest. And I thought it was just really funny how it just was xenomorph walking with this larva form. Just like,
it's just like
the way some of them present themselves, like some of the scientists are like, I'm not like him. I love you. I would never let you get hurt.
That's like Ben, you were talking about how like everything collides at the end, like the finale of like the Earth being overrun, and it's like it's the apocalypse, and I'm like, this feels like horrible. Like this feels bad. Like
it's the end of the Earth, and the military's like, yeah, we kind of wanted it.
Yeah, it's
we needed a clean slate. So
like all the rich people
they stage a coup.
They stage a coup.
Peace out.
Yeah, it's like very political.
And Hicks and Newt make this whole journey to like try to save Earth, and they're like, nah, man, like why?
Yeah.
What is there to save? Like, let it go. And it is like there's a really solid message that is well built and iterated, but like well built throughout. That's like, yeah, mankind did it to themselves.
Yeah,
every step of the way they did it to themselves.
It was very much a Walking Dead situation, or like the aliens weren't the things that killed us; we killed us. They just helped us do it.
I love the idea of the xenomorphs being able to take advantage of humans. Because it's such a big plot of all of the Alien films to some extent that they believe they can weaponize the xenomorphs. Yeah. And the xenomorphs being like, nah, man, we just let you think that. In fact, we encourage you to think that because you're so stupid.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this story, in part, ended up in Alien Resurrection, honestly.
Pieces.
There's certain... I don't think as good and like thematically it's all over the place. But I do think that Whedon probably read this book and tried to bring some of it into the movie.
Yeah,
that's entirely possible. I really love the whole story of Newt when Massey takes over on the ship, and her being like, "I have to be like the alien. I have to be like the thing that killed my parents. I have to be cold. I have to." And she uses their tactics, travels through the vents, hides, watches, waits, and then realizes in that same moment, I can't be like the alien, but still ends up getting to kill Massey.
Yeah, and then Massey's like, "You don't have the guts. You don't have it in you to kill me." And then she's like, "You want to bet?"
Her whole relationship with Butler.
Oh my God, the reveal! That's a great reveal.
That's a great reveal.
Oh my God!
Revealed that all of the Marines were synthetics.
Yes, that is nuts. I love it. I wasn't sure at first because of the black and white. When you see him literally get torn in half, but it's like white goo, and I'm like, I wonder.
It's white goo and like the balls, the little balls on cords.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure at first, but then like the second panel you see, and he's like still talking. I'm like, oh, yo, that's Ash. That's cool.
Jesus, look at that.
I love his pensive, like, look at the grin. I love the grin.
Yeah, that
I don't think it can go back to Prometheus after this, guys.
I don't think so either.
This is like, I don't want my engineers to be stupid suits. This is so much cooler.
Yeah, this is really, really good.
This legitimately, like, if the sequels are half
seeing that ship that we saw down, but like because the engineer has his own, that ship traveling with Hicks' ship to Earth, was such a cool piece. Just like there we go.
All the art's gorgeous, but like even like the spaceships are so detailed. Like this is a stunning book.
The other thing is like this is the only Alien film outside of Prometheus with its brief moment at the beginning that actually lets us do things on Earth and see what Earth is actually kind of like, and expands the universe that the xenomorphs exist in.
Yeah.
I'm not counting AVP.
Yeah.
And I think that is so cool. And I wish that more Alien films were trying to capture these kinds of ideas.
Yeah.
All of these ideas are so good.
Yeah.
I will say real quickly, the artist does not return for the sequel books. The first sequel, Nightmare Asylum, was done by Den Boves, and Earth War was done by Sam Keith.
I'm sure they're good,
but this is art.
This is like, honestly, this reminded me of 80s Swamp Thing art. Well, I'm like, man, like I can't believe.
Did your guys' edition have any of the art pages in the back?
No.
The cover page. So they put some of the covers in the back, and stuff like let me see if I can pull this up like that.
Oh wow, that's a big ass. That's a whole ass page. That's amazing. Yeah, the detail in the work it's phenomenal, man.
Yeah, every time I look at this picture, I see something new. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I also have a question about the edition that you read. Did you read the short story Aliens Lucky?
I already no, that's a negative.
Okay. So real quickly, in my edition of this book, it comes with the other thing that Mark Verheiden and Mark A. Nelson did. in Aliens called Aliens Lucky, and it's about this dude who seals himself away in the communications room of his ship while the aliens are breaking through, and just watching all of his friends die and thinking like, well, sucks to be them.
Is it like more comedic or?
It's definitely supposed to be more of a comedy.
Got it. Cool. I legitimately like. I'm like, I don't have the money now, but like that thing you have, Brandon, is like one I might consider getting. Like
I love this thing. Even before I read it, I loved it.
Yeah, in a time where I haven't gotten many good Alien things in the past couple of years, this is just a treasure.
Yeah, they did the same thing for the Predator books. Orange with orange pages.
Yeah. If that Predator book's half as good as this book, like I can't even imagine what the lore that book brings. Right
now that I know that he also did the Predator book, I'm like, maybe I want to read that Predator book.
Oh yeah, it's moving up on the list.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you guys wanted to add?
No, I just, man, if you guys are listening to this and you like, if you have one Alien book to read the rest of your life, like I think this is it. This is truly like something else, man.
For sure.
I also really like Dead Orbit, which was James Stokoe book.
Yeah,
100%,
man. But like, man, it's I can't compare them or anything.
I wish we didn't get the movies after this.
For real, because like I just like this lore so much.
To be honest, like I agree. I still like Alien 3, but I agree.
But that doesn't really do a lot for like the mythology. Like
no, it doesn't. I still like Alien 3, but I get it. Like
I
think this is dope. I wish that more of this was what
I'm more talking about like Prometheus and like the actual
for sure
birth of aliens is just an angry robot made them. Like that kind of takes away a little bit of the fun.